A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. He fixes you with a sultry look, and when he speaks, it's like listening to honeyed gravel.
I'm so glad you came, but your friends will have to leave.
He turns his back on you and waits for your companions to leave. A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me? Come on over here, big boy, and I'll tell you.
A mischievous glint appears in the dark of his eye.
What I'm thinking.
He takes a step backwards, throws a sultry look at you.
I like a fellow who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to take it. You're right, let's not play games, but let's take it slow. Shall I dance for you, or would you like to hear a poem? All right, darling. I'll dance.
He closes his eyes. He's motionless for a moment, as if listening for music that only he can hear, and then, almost imperceptibly, his hips begin to sway. As he finds the rhythm of the song that only he can hear, he sways and moves, silky with power and poise, at once beguiling and raw with pure emotion. You realize you hear the music too. It floods your body with light, at once boiling hot and freezing cold. You feel his hands upon you, and you move together, entwined in spirit and in flesh, as one. Moving to the rhythm of your heart's desire, two beings for a moment become one. In your ecstasy, you feel the edge of the bed against your leg, and suddenly you're falling, both of you laughing together as the mattress receives you both, and you realize that you are naked, and so is he. He searches your face for the lie, doesn't find it. The compliment touches him. He smiles, reaches for you. He takes you into his arms, into his heart, into his very being. Your world explodes in pleasure.
Good morning, lovebirds.
The swaggering rowdy stops dead in her tracks, a look of dubious recognition on her filthy face. She smiles uncertainly, gold teeth flashing for the briefest moment.
What the? Ifan? No little birdies told me you were back in town.
You know Gil.
Can't deny it. And the guests can't deny that it's worth it too. But you're no guest. Welcome home. Come on, boys. Let's give Ifan some privacy and head on out to wait for the next guest. Oh, and Ifan, if you see any chumps down there who could do with a lighter purse, send them this away, for old time's sake.
Carefully keeping her eyes trained on yours, Jill tosses you the clothes you were wearing. The thugs retreat, each one shuffling backwards with eyes pinned to you the whole time. Zharat suddenly looks terrified, not scared of them, but scared of you.
Please, forgive me.
He's relieved.
It was worth it, wasn't it? Now, baby, you should leave. You don't need a thing like me dragging you down, hanging on to your heart. I'll never forget you either.
He turns away.
I hate goodbyes.
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard.
The bells still rings. Do you hear
Then
it?
you're an idiot.
Do you hear it?
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. That's the spirit.
He bows his head in salute and gets back to work.
Hey, Broody.
Sound
Not
right? I got a right to leave.
Taken too early! Might as well have rotted in the death fire. What's even the point? It doesn't make sense. I'm missing something. Bellwether, I need those reports stamped.
Right away.
The Magister's jaw...
What? Desertions? What do you know about desertion? This miserable town has too many gossip mongers. But they're right. We have had some desertions of late. The veterans disgruntled with the new leadership, but they slip away in the night taking supplies. When? Not if. And you'll see those tinkerers all look the same. Well, do you know anything? I'm already aware of that, establishment. We have an informal agreement. They show discretion and don't interfere with Magister duties, and in return we leave them alone. I can't believe that. Stop wasting my... Elson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here? What? Oh, no. Poor Demori. Go tell Magister Raymond or Magister Julian immediately. They'll raise the alert. Go. Now. Again? Seriously?
those
Of
reports,
course, sir.
Captain.
Right away.
The Magister grumbled.
Bloody bastard.
Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. That decision is mine. A good day? Let's talk about a good... Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we must.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. My favorite one. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters, but they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You! The damn recruit!
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there. Now answer me. Did you meet with the Magister Caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the Bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man! What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attack. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf, they've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Aye, you know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist in that case.
In short,
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed should you stumble across any correspondence. Can't describe it to you any plainly.
Hello, mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon. He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy. Fort Joy? That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's gonna find his mum and bring her back. That's right. I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Against the ancient empire!
Have you anything that will protect against void wake?
How you hold up?
A valiant warrior against the force.
You're making this much harder than it needs to be. Tell the truth now. Who was he that sent you?
Better get out there before Mortis makes it all the way past Arks, all right? Don't insult me. I wouldn't expose my people like that. But if you find out who did it, shake their hand for me. That's right. Lost one of my best lads, Anhar. Didn't get Jalia's body back, though. Maybe one of them beasts took her like they did the sorcerers. Well, I reckon that's good news. Poor thing. She'll be back in time. She and Anhar were sweethearts. We will, once the Reds turn down the alarm a bit. They're jumpy as all hell for the moment. Won't do anyone any good to raise a ruckus now. Whatever needs doing. Isn't that obvious?
We ain't gonna keep you around much longer.
Move along, Buck.
Step off.
The battered dwarf pulls her lips back into a garish, open-mouthed grin, flashing blood-stained teeth.
Tell the truth now. Who was he that sent you?
Pretty plant, yes. Take some sorcery in the face, nasty Dallas. It's off the Fort Joy you go, nasty sorcerer. You can stay there with the dirty lizards and Joe's...
Take that, sorcerer.
You're dead, Alexander.
Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, mister. Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does he?
See? Told ya. But don't worry, I'll revenge your death. Take that, sauce.
You won't put a sauce collar on me, Dallas. I'm a big, bad, evil sorcerer, and I'll kill you dead.
I hate this game.
Dallas and her sorcerer mock fight in the little Alexander gives you a...
Keeping it together, Reed. You're safe among friends. Never forget them. Keeping it together, Reed. Too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget them.
abomination!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
They don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up.
Divine order to march!
Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Seekers! Culprits still at large!
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right.
Hear ye! Hear
You're
ye!
safe among
Queen
friends.
Justinian
Never forget it.
executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving. The rest of this town.
Hear
It's all well and good for you. With rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating some.
Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Culprits still at large!
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by singers! Culprits!
I'm Dallas. I'm Alexander.
This must be the place Lohar mentioned. It looks unassuming enough.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelid. The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might miss. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want?
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, human. Well, glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenn has sent you before they bash your brains in. Ain't no rest for...
What? You been needing something from me, lad? Ain't much inclined to... Ain't no one been standing together since Lucian died. Ain't been no goodwill among your kind, or mine, or anyone else's since the Reds have been in charge. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutting on... I had friends. Good friends. Not even dwarves, some of them. Reds put him on a ship, sailed him to Fort Joy. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. You mean to say you escaped? Crawled your way out of the belly of the beast? Crikey, so you're a sorcerer then. In that case, you must know about the fugitive. That fella all those Reds are looking for. I mean, if he's a sorcerer too, you'll want to do right by him, won't you? Make sure they don't catch the poor bugger.
The dwarf leans in and begins whispering conspiratorially.
This fella runs along, right? Sweating, panicking. Reds racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what do you know? He did. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't.
You've been warned, Barnes. Now, get back to your fish.
The Magister turns, and his eyes fall on you.
You, tell me, have you seen a man acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak, grey beard, satch blast. Well, if you do see anything odd, report it immediately. There is a foul creature lurking in one of these
If you see anything suspicious, anything at all, report it immediately. Do you understand? He's a sorcerer dressed as a tinkerer. Our brothers started vanishing as soon as the tramp arrived in town.
The Magister's eyes flick to a nearby pile of fish, and he moves off to investigate. You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He tries to ignore your presence, fails. He sighs.
See here. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with Magisters, and our shipments to Arks are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What you... A murderer, or a sorcerer, or some other species of miscreant. Whichever it is, it has nothing to do with me, except that it's stopping me shipping my fish into Arks. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn that there's a market for everything. You just have to find it. Or...
A dark shadow passes across his face.
Sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. An excellent point. Well made. The answer to your question is, unsurprisingly, a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his face once more. He shivers.
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. Absolutely not. I don't give away sensitive information like that to anyone who just asks for it. And I don't keep it lying around, neither. That really is enough now. I'm asking you to leave. Good... If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
Oi! You look the kind of ruffian who can keep a secret. Fancy a good time? Head downstairs in the Black Bull Tavern. Tell the lummox blocking the way that Blathin gave you a tip-off.
Grisha's still the favourite.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh, my... I mean, no, what do you want? I'm gutting fish. What else? Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I want to guess, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn.
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the fish. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Humans are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for one specimen per volunteer, or my findings could become flawed. The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one, touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course. Oh my, I've got nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf...
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I didn't always work here, stranger. We dwarves aren't all burps and brawls. Not that the likes of... Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of... Wonderful. Now, I have two,
The fish instantly churns your insides, blinds you to your surroundings, but then, a vision. Towering horror. Your perspective abruptly changes. Cold, dark. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into...
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across... The dwarf leans in and peers in...
Spontaneous delusions. Very interesting. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you.
The dwarf...
The fish is indeed malignant. Ah, yes. Of course, the fish you ate is known as Crimson Breed. Who is to say what might happen? Seek out somewhere that peddles for... So, now my work...
Behind the containers, the fish in one of the barrels shifts slightly.
Please, you have to help me. The Magisters have gone mad. I'm a salesman. I tinker. I fix things. I wonder. I buy and sell books when I can. Please help me. I don't want to die. I don't want them to take me. I just need to get out of Driftwood. I can't risk being seen. But if you can get out of town, I can escape to Arks. Please, I'll do anything. Just don't let them see me. Don't let them find me. Thank you. I'll follow your lead. You found him!
Excellent. Now, stand aside.
The Magister steps forward with a smile and draws his weapon.
What? What? No, you said you'd help. You promised. You promised you'd get me out.
You dog. You'll regret this. You all regret this.